What's going on, guys? It's Jay Camaro here with another episode of Initial Thoughts, and today we're finally going to be taking a look at the zombies component of the Call of Duty Black Ops 2 Revolution DLC. Now, I know this DLC's been out for almost a month now. It was released on January 29th, 2013 for the Xbox 360, and PlayStation 3 and PC owners should be getting it really soon. But I just have not really had time to capture some gameplay of both the normal survival-based game mode as well as the new turned game type. I didn't want to play it alone, so I had to get some of my friends to come together and play it, and it's been pretty hard because everybody's been playing Crysis 3 lately, as well as there's a double XP weekend for Black Ops 2's multiplayer, so they've been wanting to play that. So I finally was able to get on today and get about a half hour's worth of footage for Die Rise and get about 5 minutes of just like a full game of Turned. I'll talk about that game type in a little while. But anyway, let's just talk about pricing a little bit. This DLC for people who didn't purchase the Season Pass is $15 or 1,200 Microsoft points on the Xbox 360. And if you get the Season Pass, which includes this DLC as well as 3 others that'll come out over the next year, it was 4,000 Microsoft points or $50 in real world money. But so the zombies component, I think this is really where the Revolutions DLC really shines for me. I didn't really enjoy the multiplayer, the original zombies maps. I don't know, Transit just wasn't really, it didn't click with me. I don't know. I like kind of the original, large one map type style of zombies from the original Black Ops and Call of Duty World at War. So when I heard about Die Rise, when it was going to be kind of leaning away from those several small map, kind of strung together format that Transit had, I was really excited, and I really hoped that zombies could return to its roots, because Transit, I got some entertainment out of it. It was alright, but it got really repetitive really fast, and after you played those maps maybe about a dozen times, there really wasn't that much stuff to do. Of course, there was Easter eggs, but I never really got into a ton of that. I think me and my friends are going to be doing the Tower of Babel probably within the next month or so, because we really just want to get that out of the way. But back to zombies. So zombies, the main survival map in zombies is Die Rise, as well as it comes with a new game mode called Turn. But I'll talk about that when the gameplay appears at the end of this video. But so Die Rise. Die Rise takes place in China, in Shanghai, and it's kind of in that future that Transit was, where it's future, but it's not super future. I don't know. There's some futuristic stuff, but you could really not really tell the difference, unless of course the robot driver for the bus on Transit. But so you got all those like weapons, and the characters are all back. But Die Rise, I think, is really cool. And it's because it's in a skyscraper. Well, actually, two and a half skyscrapers. There's one there's I consider this map to kind of have 3 main segments. There's the main place where you just saw me starting out, which is this kind of mall type area, and then there's, you'll see me go there in a little while, there's a separate building, a completely different building that's kind of like a factory type building, and then a place where I'm going right here, which is actually the overturned part of the first thing that I talked about. So it's like a skyscraper, like the top fell over, but it's still hooked onto it. So everything's upside down, as you can see. I think we're in like a really destroyed room, so you can kind of see the lamps and everything is upside down. And actually, what's kind of weird is that the box and the wall guns are actually upside down. So I think that's a little cool thing. Treyarch didn't really need to do that, but I'm happy that they did decide to kind of include that too. I don't know, make the experience a little bit look more cool. One thing I forgot to note about this gameplay is that the audio does cut out in a little while. I don't know why. When I was recording, it just, I think, got corrupted or something. It used to happen a long time ago, but it kind of stopped, so I'm surprised it came back at this time. But it doesn't really matter, I think, because you can't really hear the audio anyway, usually, because I bring it down to like 1% in an iMovie, so you can really hear me talking. So I don't know, I don't think it's going to be a big deal, and you'll probably notice it, but it does come back for the turned game type. I don't know what happened. I'm going to try not to have it happen anymore. But So those are the three map segments, and I think it's a really creative type setup. I think it really moves away from the format of not Die Rise. We're talking about Die Rise, about Transit, where it was just some buildings, and yeah, some buildings had like 2 floors, like the farmhouse or the bar, but I don't know. There just wasn't that much to these maps, and I think that they really changed that with Die Rise. All the maps have their own distinguishable style. So the place where you start out, it's very lots of smaller corridors, and that's really the case around most of that first building plus the overturned building. Very small hallways. There are a couple big buildings, but you're really gonna wanna. This is a really nice shotgun area. Of course, I'm using the SVU sniper. I love this thing. I don't know why. I'm sure a lot of people think that it's a terrible weapon, but I just can't get enough of this gun in Die Rise. I don't know. There's just something about it that I love. Um, of course, it's not great in these corridors, but on some of the later parts and some of the larger areas, it can be a really nice tool. You'll actually see me use it to its full advantage a little bit later in this video. But then when you go out into the factory part of the map, it opens up a lot more. There's some sniping points, some very long range areas, and then there's a circle, of course. You can run trains if you're into that sort of thing. We didn't really do that in this game type, but we've definitely done that in games past. But so those are kind of the three environments, and I really think they're cool. It's it's something different. It's something that you haven't really seen in zombies before, and there's a lot more to it. So let's keep going. So the one cool part about this is that there are elevators around the map, and these elevators are on an automatic timer where they go up and down and up and down, and you can actually ride on top of them. You can't ride in them because that's where the perks are. So unlike maps past where, unless Nuketown Zombies is an exception, but everything doesn't have one fixed location. Of course, when they generate Nuketown Zombies, they're there forever. But in this, they're always like moving up and down and up and down. So you can't just stand by the Pack-a-Punch until the round is over and then Pack-a-Punch and then just keep fighting. You have to play a little bit more tactically to when you get your perks. And that's actually the main mode of transportation. You cannot see the entire map on Die Rise, at least once over, without riding the elevators. So that's a pretty interesting part of it. You really have to use an elevator to see the entire map, and to get around the map you have to, and in a very fast way. You always need to be looking for the elevators, memorizing where they go, like where they start out, where they lead. Most of them have multiple floors. I think there's a couple that actually have 4. So that can take you to a lot of different areas of the map, because this is definitely a very vertical map. Looking at the footprint of the map, it's very small. It could be like next to Nuketown, the smallest zombies map they've ever made. But because most areas have like 3, 4, 5 stories, there's a lot more to it, and I really enjoy that. But the wall guns. Well, actually, let's talk about perks. So all the perks are back except for stamina. That's not here, and I don't think the tombstone is here. I don't know. Maybe I just haven't found it yet, but I haven't seen it yet. But then there's a new perk called Who's Who. Now, Who's Who is a really interesting perk. So pretty much, Who's Who you can find in any elevator, and they randomly generate. So what's in one elevator in one game may not be in another elevator the next game. But you activate it, and then actually when you go down, instead of dying or being revived by yourself if you get self-revive, you actually switch to a different character, like a different person, and then it's like yourself, but it's not. It's like it's a clone of yourself, and then there's this like Who's Who sound effect. And actually, funny story, one time I was playing this map, and I was dead, and I was spectating on someone who had the Who's Who perk, and they went down there in Who's Who mode for a little while. I hence came back into the game the next round, but for the entire rest of the game, that Who's Who noise was playing, and I have no idea why. I've never been able to replicate it, but it was so annoying. I actually just ended up backing out of the game because I just could not concentrate. It was quite loud too. But then you can actually go back and revive yourself. So that's a pretty cool part, and you get to keep all your weapons. I believe you actually get to keep all your perks, correct me if I'm wrong, of course, besides Who's Who. And that could be a really good perk to use. And then all the other, I think Double Tap is back, Mule Kick, just I think pretty much all the perks are here except for Stamina Up and Tombstone. I think there's a lot more perks on this map than I noticed in normal transit, so that's pretty cool. I haven't used Who's Who a lot, but I could definitely find some usefulness for it. And so then you've got the weapon buildables. And those were a strong part of transit, and I don't think they're as huge in Dire. I believe that there is only 2 buildables in maybe 3 in Dire, maybe 3, but the main 2 we use is this like this jumping platform where you get onto it and then you kind of just like jump to the trajectory area, and you have to make sure you don't fall off the map, because you can fall off the map in some segments and fall to your death. That's happened to me a lot, and I'll tell you about the segment, about the area where a lot of people usually fall off in a little while when it appears on the screen. But so that the wall parts are, you've got that platform, and that can be really useful. And there's actually an area like right here behind me. There's like a ramp, and if you put like those platforms all around, the zombies can actually, if you keep shooting them so they destroy it, they can keep like bouncing off of it. So that's pretty funny. It's a really, I've played it in a lot of games where that's really where we like make our last stand towards the last few rounds. But like right here, this is the ramp where it usually is at, and as you can see, there's a lot of long sidelines. But then another cool buildable is that there's actually a new weapon, and that's the Squidifire. I can't quite figure out how to pronounce it, but I think it's the Squidifire. But it pretty much, to me, it resembles an MTAR. I don't know. It looks like it, but it's its own like weapon style. But only one person can get it, and in this gameplay, Laser 3656 got it because he died in the beginning, and I actually think he fell off the map and he lost all of his guns, so he decided to get it. That's usually what we do. The person with the least amount of guns, the amount of like good guns, can pick it up, because you can only get one. I don't know. We've tried to. The Ranger 99 said he figured out this. He saw this one video on YouTube where apparently you could, if everybody pressed X at the same time, you could pick it up. But since there is a lag on Xbox Live, when you say something, it takes probably about, depending on your connection, about 1 or 2 seconds for it to actually go to the other person. So you can't really replicate that, unless you're, of course, in split screen mode, but I haven't played this in split screen mode yet, of course. But so only one person can get it, and I think it can go back to the box. I've never played in a game where somebody gets it from the box. I'm sure it's quite rare, and I don't know if 2 people can have it at the same time, or it only goes to the box if the person who had it before died. I don't know. Like I said, I've never been able to get to it before. You can build that, and the catch about it is that it doesn't just shoot bullets. It shoots these purplish bullets that like stick to the zombies, and then when they actually walk on that area, like it goes on the ground. So you shoot it at something, and then it like floods the ground, creates like a puddle, sort of. I know it's not water, but then the catch about it is that when you walk on it, you can actually like slide. Picture like you're on ice, and it's really hard to stop, and that can be really dangerous on Die Rise, because I've seen more than once somebody fall off the map accidentally because they're sliding on that. So you have to be really careful while you're shooting it. But it's a pretty cool gun. I haven't used it a ton. I don't know. A lot of other people I play with just usually get it. I've got it a couple times, and I have to say it's a good gun. I think it's really comparable to like the ray gun. It's not quite as good, and it runs out of ammo pretty fast, but it's a good gun. You can't pack punch it or anything like that. And it takes up an actual weapon slot, unlike that like riot shield type thing in transit, where it takes up like the D-pad slot. And this is actually a weapon, so you can only get one other weapon. Or of course, if you get Mule Kick, you get 3. But then so it's a pretty cool gun. You can't rebuild it once the person who has it dies, so I think that's where the getting it from the box part comes in. But that's pretty nice. One other thing when we're talking about weapons, that there are, I think, 3 new wall guns. So you've got the SVU, which I'm using right now, a new sniper rifle, semi-automatic. I love it. I don't know. Not a ton of damage, but when it's packed, it's really good. And as you can see, I think it's still what are we on? We're on round 9 right now, and it's still like a 2-hit kill. So, and then of course you can get headshots, which are insta kills. But I like it. It's a really fun gun. And then you also have the PDW-57, which is actually a really, really early gun. You only have to open up 2 places in the very beginning to get it. And it's alright. It's not super expensive, but it can hold a ton of rounds, but it runs out really fast. It doesn't have the highest damage ever, so you're probably going to replace it pretty soon, pretty quickly. But it's a good gun, you know, starting out if you haven't hit the box yet, or you just want to buy a cheaper wall gun that you can replenish once you pack it or something like that. It's an alright choice. And then you've got a new assault rifle, which I think, in my opinion, is the best wall gun in the map. If you don't consider the Squirtifire, I'm going to call it the Squirtifire, a wall gun, which I don't. It's a buildable. You don't have to use it in a box, but the A94, the assault rifle from multiplayer, it's actually a really powerful assault rifle in multiplayer too, and this is a really good gun. It could probably replace most of the wall guns, and it's definitely a really good go-to gun. Maybe if you have like a ray gun, you could use that, you know, as your secondary. And I use it a ton. It's 1,200 points, so it's not cheap by any means, but it's a really fun gun if you haven't hit the box yet, or the box went away, or you're just not in the position to hit the box, you know, too far away or something like that. It's a really good choice, and I really do like the Treyarch introduce some more wall guns, because that's one of the parts where I thought that Transit was a little weird, because I think besides the 870 and the B23R, which both I actually have not. Yeah, the 870. It's on this map. It's downstairs in the factory where I am right now. But the weird part about it is that most of the guns besides those two were from the original Black Ops or World at War. So you had like the AKS-47U, the what else? The MP5, the the M14. The M1911, of course, is your starting out gun, but most of the guns were from the original, and I thought that was a little weird. Like, you couldn't get them through the wall. You could get a couple, like the Galil, the FNFAL, and the what was the third? You could get the RPD. You could get a lot of those guns at the box, but you could also get a lot of them on the wall. And I don't know, I didn't like that. I thought that, you know, it's a futuristic game, it's a new game, you should have new wall guns. And I think that, although they haven't completely abandoned it, I think the old guns still make up the majority of the wall guns. I am very happy that Treyarch, you know, decided to take the approach with creating they're not new guns, older new guns, older new guns, and put them in Die Rise. So, I really like that. It's a cool way to play it. Right here is the pack-punch machine, and it always gets randomized. If you time it correctly, 2 people can pack-punch their gun. And it is a little. You definitely have to time it good, because if your gun stays in the pack-punch machine, you know, like pack-a-punching, and the timer goes away and the elevator goes back down, then you lose your packed gun. So it disappears forever and you can't get it back. So if 2 people can do it, if immediately once it comes up, 1 person packs, and then immediately once the person gets their gun, somebody else packs, you do enough time to do it for 2 people. And I think probably with the drink machines, you could probably everybody could get it, unless I don't know. I think there's a pretty strong amount. I think probably all 4 of you could get it. And then you got the Bowie knife and the Galvaknuckles around the map in different areas. New enemy types, they're like the new dogs. You wouldn't consider them monkeys. I don't know. They're these little creatures that crawl around on all 4 legs. They look a little human, but they look less human than zombies, that's for sure. But that's kind of like the new dog round. I think it happens every 5 rounds, and I think you could give or take a few. Like, it doesn't always happen at the exact same time. And then if you knife them all, and they're reasonably powerful. I think unless you have if you don't have a shotgun or like a Galvaknuckles or Bowie knife, you're definitely going to be in a little bit of trouble. And if you actually knife all of them, which I do actually make a mistake of accidentally shooting one, on the next round. If you knife all of them, you actually get a perk, like any perk that's randomized, and everybody can get something different. So that's really cool. Everybody's getting the bow knife, so we could do that, and it's a nice little plus. And I like all these little Easter eggs, that they put into a map. The teddy bears are on there. Unfortunately, I don't think the the audio picked it up, but there's a song that once you get all the bears starts playing. It's pretty cool. I like it. Actually, Too Legit to Quit does not like it. I don't know why. In the entire game, he's like, "Wow, I'm glad that's over. I hated that," but I like it. It's pretty cool. But that's really the basis of the map, Die Rise. I love Die Rise. I don't know. There's something about it that really it brings you back to the roots of zombies, and that's what I really love about it. The large maps. You're not going everywhere. It's just fun, fun zombie playing. There's a lot of Easter eggs in this map. There's something to do with the dragon. If you like knife its nose, you can get an achievement for it. There's I don't know what I couldn't consider what has more Easter eggs. Transit or Die Rise. I think they're both pretty much the same, but I think the Die Rise ones are a little bit better. Die Rise can only be played in survival, so no 8-player objective types. I think there's probably some other. I remember the original 8-player glitch to be patched in the last title update, and I don't know if they fixed that. I think they had another title update a couple days ago. I don't know if they fixed that in this one, but I believe that there was a new one, an oldish new one that came out with a title update for Die Rise, and so there's no actual way without doing that glitch to get 8 players on there. There's no I forget what it's called, that like objective team-based game type. There's none of that. Turn isn't playable on this map, so it's just straight out survival. I don't know if they're going to add that, in other DLCs, but I don't know. I actually kind of like that. I like how it's tailored just for survival, and that's what it's meant for. And I think it plays very, very good in survival. This is a map that if you got Black Ops when it first came out and you played Transit a lot, I think this is definitely going to last longer than Transit. There's something about it that just I've got the feeling this is going to last a little while longer. Hopefully until the next DLC comes out, because I don't know, I really just dropped off from playing Transit, I don't know, mid-December, because I don't know, it wasn't that fun. It was alright, but it just got repetitive and boring after a while, and now it's like, I feel bad for the people who didn't have the season pass in our like group of friends that play Xbox Live, because like no one wants to play with them because everybody loves Die Rise so much more than Transit. Me, Barracuda, Laser, and Complete Comet 7 had this one game. I think it's pretty much the ode to Transit. We were just going last stand on the bus. We survived until like round 25. It was so much fun. And after that, I just stopped playing it. I don't think I've even played it since, because this one, it's a much bigger map, it's a much better map, and everything about it is just more and better, unless, of course, you like the denizens and the fog. There's no fog on this map. Great. I hated the fog. I think it was a terrible idea, and the only reason that Treyarch even put it in the game was because they wanted to make it so the textures between each of like the maps in the map, so like the different locations in Transit were like strung together with something, but not something that was too good. So if you ever watch, like, you can look them up online, videos where like they turn the fog off. The textures look terrible. There's like nothing there between each of the maps. So that's why they put that in. The denizens, I thought were really, really annoying, but none of that in this one. No, just running around waiting for the boss. As you can see, I just pack-a-punch the SVU. It's really good in a pack-a-punch mode, I guess you could call it. And the pack-a-punch machine, and it's very risky to use it because you could lose ground. And one time I was actually I died right before it fell, and I was completely so bummed. And you really have to watch yourself because because the perks are in such like narrow areas, you really want to have somebody watch your back. And right there, there's the jump that a lot of people usually die from going. You have to go at just the right angle. No one can, no zombie or person can touch you as you're about to jump or as you're jumping right here. I don't know. We have some network connections. We're in the party with Ranger99 who's playing Crisis, but everything just like glitches. I almost die. I thought I was gonna die in the quick revive like elevator, but for some reason I was in there. I wasn't, but I'm just thankful I didn't die. And then me and Barracuda are able to go last stand in here. But you can actually get out of here. Besides, there's one escape area to the left of us right now, where you can go to the secondary building. But right here, like I get insta kill, and it's just like I don't think we could have survived without that because I'm able to revive Mark just in the nick of time, and then we just continue playing. You have the timing the elevator comes is very important because if you get held up in these small areas, there's not a ton of escape routes. You know what I mean? Like right here, that's the only place you could go, and even that you have to angle a really good jump. You have to be a good jumper to play this game. There's a lot of different jumps. Like right here, you got to make it through those like mattresses. Otherwise, you'll actually fall off the map. We actually just completed a complete circle around the map. Right there was where the box used to be, and right here there's this like corridor, like it's like an upside down elevator shaft, and you have to navigate yourself down there. And actually, right here is the Galvanockles, and 200-577 actually goes down right around here because you have to angle your jump just right. Like not right here, but there's another area right there. He went down. You have to angle it to the left where there's like an area you have to get on and then reheal your health. But so a lot of people die a lot in here, as you can see. Barracuda 65 goes down. But anyway, back to my consensus with Die-Res. If you're just getting the zombies map pack, I mean the Revolution DLC right here, I overshot, shoot it and I die. I was like, oh my gosh, I just lost Juggernaut, I'm dead. But if you're just buying Revolution for zombies, I would totally recommend it, unless you're somebody who doesn't have the means to spend the extra $15 or just doesn't think they want to give Treyarch $15 just for a zombies map. Unless you're like that, I really, really recommend that you purchase this for the zombies map. If you're a zombies fan, don't even consider it. The multiplayer maps are a good bonus, the Peacekeeper is good, but Die-Rise is the top reason, in my opinion, to get the Revolutions DLC map. I think this could be, in my head, up there with Noctur and Totem. Just for me, a classic. I'm always going to remember how much fun I've had on this map. And it's a really big map, too. There's a lot to explore. It took me a full week to actually get a picture of the map, in my head. And I love that. I love the maps that take you a long time to figure out, because then that's more and more surprises. There's just so much to this map that it's going to take you a while to figure it all out, and you're just going to get so much more out of it. There's a ton to do, more wall guns, more perks everywhere. You got the Squillifier, I still can't pronounce it. Probably somebody's going to correct me in the comments. I remember in my multiplayer segment of this, like the Revolution DLC, somebody was like 2013, and all that, because right down in the corner I said January 29th, 2012, and I'm like, yeah, I'm stuck in the past, because I've never done any videos in 2013 besides in these last, 5 or 6 videos. But anyway, this is a really, really fun map. I would probably, if I was going to give it a number rating, 9.5 out of 10. I love it. I don't know if I haven't really looked at forums and videos about this map a ton. I don't know how the Call of Duty Black Ops 2 community's consensus is with this map, but in my opinion and in my group of friends, we all really, really love this map. And I think for somebody who doesn't have the season pass and just wants to spend $15 on something, I think that this is a really good zombies map and multiplayer maps, as I talked about in my last video. And I think this is a great way for Treyarch to start out their multiplayer DLC. Not really multiplayer zombies game mode DLC for Black Ops 2. Because Modern Warfare 3 wasn't great, but I think Black Ops 2 is off to a very, very, very good start. But that's pretty much Die-Rise, and there's another game type that I'm gonna go into turned in a second. But right here, me and my friends are all kind of we're getting to the end. I think in we survived till round 16, and then 577 went on for about another 7 minutes alone, but I cut that out because I didn't want to make this video too long. Already I'm looking at the timer, and it's 37 minutes 22 seconds, and plus I haven't inserted the intro yet, and I think that's about like 5 seconds. So this is going to be quite a long video already, but you know, this right here kind of goes to show you that there's a lot of tight corridors and there's not a lot of places to go. Like me and Laser are kind of having to go last stand against these zombies. And right here I actually go down because I'm fighting, I'm trying to revive him, then Laser has to reload and the zombie hits me. And that's pretty much the end of the zombies game mode. So all in all, Die Rise, best zombie map that I've played in a very, very long time. If you want it for the zombies map and if you're a zombies fan, go out and buy it. So right here we're getting into the second zombies portion of the Call of Duty of the Revolution DLC. So this is Turned, and Turned can only be played on the Diner map in Transit, and this is the first time you can play Diner as a standalone map. You could of course played Town, Farm, and Bus Depot on its own, but now you can play only Transit on the Diner, and you can't play like Survival or anything like that. And Turned, there's a lot leading up to it. I think there's moderately hyped, and I think all in all it's decent. It's definitely I know that a map and a game mode are very different, but in my opinion it's just not as good as Die Rise. It's very repetitive and it's very friend focused. I think that playing this online, you know, like competitively, is not gonna last very long at all. Maybe an hour and a half section to this, and you'll never want to go back to it again because it's very repetitive and it's a little annoying at some points. But I think just playing it with friends, you know, all screaming on the mic, I think it's a lot more fun. But so pretty much the basis of Turned, and this is actually the first time that they've ever added a new game mode in Zombies, so I guess that's worth noting. This is definitely a map pack of a lot of firsts in Black Ops 2, but in the Call of Duty franchise in general. But so you pretty much have one human, you know, just a normal human survivor, and then you have up to I think 7 other zombies. So I think this is an 8-player game mode, and 7 other zombies coming at him. And but I don't think playing with 7 zombies is going to be a lot of fun because you're going to die really fast. But pretty much in the very beginning, as you saw, you have to go and get this like cure, like it's a little, you know, pickup in the middle of the map. And then the first person to get it becomes a human, and then that human gets a executioner, and then every kill that they get, it's a backwards gun game. And I think that's actually what the game mode's called. There's a couple, like you just get a shotgun. Then I think there's like backwards gun game, and I think there could be one more, maybe. Don't quote me on it. I'm interested to see if they can let us, like, you know, make our own. I think that would add a little bit more life to this game mode. So every time you get a kill, you go up a weapon, but actually the weapons get worse. So you get the Executioner, then the M1216, then the M27. I believe after that is the automatic pistol, the Car 40, I think. No, that's not the Cat 40. That's what it's called, Cat 40. I think that's the last one. I've never made it further than the M27 because, in theory, you could say, okay, having to get a kill and then having a new gun isn't that hard. But the problem is that you want to coordinate your strikes as a zombie. And then once you get a kill, you have to switch weapons, and it's different for every game. Like right here, Barry could have just killed me because I was switching guns. If I wouldn't have switched guns, or if it would have been instantaneous, you know, just immediately being able to shoot with the next gun, that wouldn't have happened. So they time their strikes, so then when they attack you, you have to like load your new gun, and then that's when you go down. So if 2 people are coming at you, you're pretty much guaranteed to die unless you're a boss zombie player. And then there's also different pickups. So there's 3 different kinds of pickups. There's pickups for the zombies, pickups for the humans, and pickups for everybody. So they're like double points are for everybody, and points depend on how long you get points, like every few seconds. I think it's 10 points every second. Don't quote me on that again. Probably look down in the corner the next time I'm a human. But so then that amount doubles. It's right here. Yeah, every second you get 10 points, and then that doubles in double points. And then there's things for the humans, so you got like that affect the zombies negatively. So you got like nukes, monkeys. So right here we're trying to keep them away from the nukes, because if he gets the nukes, we're all dead. But the so then it's funny, like the monkeys, because everybody's actually like drawn to them, and like it's like a magnet kind of, much like probably zombies feel with the the normal zombies game mode, like the monkeys and the AI zombies. Um, and then there's things for the zombies that are like, I don't think there's a ton, and I haven't found more than 2 or so. But I know that the big one that you're going to get a lot is like a max ammo type thing, where actually the person runs out of ammo, and then I think I've never actually gotten it, but I do think you run out of ammo, and then you have to reload. I don't think you completely flat out like run out of ammo, but that definitely leaves you vulnerable for a very long time. You really don't want to reload in this. I think coming up pretty soon at the end, I like just start just like rapid firing the executioner, and then don't get a kill, and then die immediately. But so then when you're a zombie, you're really fast. You can't jump. But I don't know. It's just not that. It gets repetitive very, very fast. It's a fun game to go back to over and over again, but I don't think this is really going to catch on and be introduced into any other maps. I think really this is turned. It's on Diner. If you want to play it, it's cool. But there's not a lot of life to it. There's a lot of achievements for it, which is a little surprising. There's actually no achievements for the multiplayer side of the DLC. No, they're just standard like the zombie stuff. One interesting one is actually you have to get all the perks, where in doing that you actually have to go down and pick up some more perks. So I think that's a little interesting. But that's pretty much the my initial thoughts for the zombies portion of the Black Ops 2 Revolution DLC. All in all, this is a really good expansion pack. It kicks off the DLC season for Call of Duty Black Ops 2. Really, really good. I would highly consider purchasing it, and I'm definitely very happy with my purchase. So that's pretty much the end of the video. I'll try to have another Let's Play episode of Crysis 3 up within this next week. But if you guys like this video, you can thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Peace out.